Pretty wore out by the end of it, but I think it's a little different with these college guys. You know, they're a lot younger, a lot more spry, got more energy, and you know, it's for prestige and honor. So it's a little different concept than the pro tournaments. Nice putt.
Good concentration.
Nice putt.
Through the corral.
Golden Eagles.
Very nice shot. Yes, sir.
You see the difference in that putt and the one we saw a while ago where the guy was kind of supporting himself on the basket was night and day. That was beautiful.
So go to 18.
That's a good form. Hopefully he can do that when he lets go of the disc. Boy, he crushed it though. That seemed like he threw it really hard. Nice shot.
Yes! Yeah! Gotta be happy with that.
You know, that had to be a putter. As hard as he threw that, you know, we weren't seeing very many putters thrown the first 3 days of this event because of all the wind. So you have to throw that putter just a little bit harder to get it up there. It's playing 295. Nice safe shot.
Set up for birdie. And the excitement continues here amongst all of our teams as we reach the culmination of Championship Sunday. This is the National Collegiate Disc Golf Championships here at the Hippodrome. We appreciate you joining us from home or from work or on the go. No matter what, Disc Golf Planet aims to broadcast the best in collegiate disc golf.
It sure doesn't look like there's a lack of energy in these guys. They are high-stepping it.
35 colleges and universities. Very impressive turnout for Pete May.
Boy, it'd be nice to be 20 again and have all the discs that we have now. Daggone it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of losing them in the lake so much. I just gotta get a candy bar, a pastry, and a sugar drink and go play the back nine. At Tennessee Tech, taking a deserved breather after a great shot on 15 at the bullpen. They're standing by for the graveyard. Another tricky example of the design here. This week stretched out to 437 feet. Should be quite a challenge. We are back to 18.
Looks like that bush is right in the way. He's going to have to kind of go around it or fluff it right over top of it. Boy, it won't be too many more years that bush will really come into play.
Yeah, I was going to say if he's alarmed by that, then boy, does he need to go to Boylan Family Farms.
I wish it was still there. Oh, right, nice, right over top of it. There you go. That's what it's all about right there. He will never forget that putt.
Last hole. That's awesome. Yeah, camaraderie. Good to see. Yeah, we invite all of our teams to return next year. And once again, those of you at home, start your own team. Contact your college, university. Go through the intramural department or call Pete May. And at ncddc.com for suggestions.
We go see San Diego State Aztecs. Boy, that was really close to a foot fault right there. He did a jump putt, but it looked like that front foot was on the ground before he let go, which would be a violation.
beautiful Sunday afternoon for our players and staff.
We have the Arkansas Razorbacks here scoping out the green.
We're watching Arkansas develop strategy here. Let's see what Rebecca Duffy's going. Every time we ask Rebecca, she's got something cool. Rebecca, are you out there?
I am out here and I'm enjoying the weather. I know I keep bringing that up, but I can't believe how the weather changes from day to day here. As you can see, Tennessee Tech is having a little bit of a hard time back here, but you know, they have so much great morale. They have a bad shot, but they're still in good spirits, and that's what this tournament's all about. Like I told him at the beginning, it's disc golf. Have fun. This is your last round. It's a memory they're never going to forget.
True, Dad. Oh, and Rebecca, you are out there.
I'm way out here.
We're going to find out on that gap between Oregon and Augusta State in a moment, because we know the action is there, folks. You're enjoying live coverage of our final day here at the NCDGC. This coverage brought to you by Innova Champion, the PDGA, and the Philadelphia Insurance Companies, all showing their support to broadcast the best in collegiate disc golf this weekend.
You know, it'd be interesting to find out the scores for UAH to see if they are in fact still in the hunt.
Thank you to our viewers in Japan showing their support. We want to give a shout out to our comrades and disc golf family in the land of the rising sun after the recent series of events. And we hope that you're on your way to a quick and remarkable comeback, and certainly wish you the best and swiftest of recoveries. Thank you. Minasan o genki de ne. Ja oishite shimasu. Dave Greenwell, my co-host, bringing you this coverage of the Championship Sunday here at the Hippodrome.
You know, when you lose a disc, you've got 3 minutes from the time it's declared lost to find it. And if they don't find it, then you have to play from the previous lie, whether it be on the tee or in the fairway, wherever it might be. But that's looking like that's what's happening right here. But you know what? If you got a lost disc and it's underneath the leaves, what better people to help you look for it than the Hogs, the Razorbacks, rooting around.
You're looking at the approach on number 16, the Graveyard. And not an errant shot, but just to go for it. Obviously, teammates having reached a position to achieve par or better. This is an alternate shot format where each 4-person team will be split into 2 pairs. Those 2 pairs will elect to have one person shoot the odd holes first, one person to shoot the even holes first. Then they will play alternate shot through the completion of the hole, and then the 2 pairs will designate which of their 2 scores are lower and take that as their final entry.
You know, it's kind of fun to see these guys because most of them are not in contention, and they seem just so relieved that they don't have to deal with that win this afternoon that they don't really care about the score that much.
You see the hangman placement right next to that looming Graveyard.
Whoa.
Ooh, just
Great
short.
run. That was scary.
And we're watching our teams make their way up on the 16th green. While we do, Dave, let's take a look at the Disc Nation 2011 NCDG Individual Resort Scoreboard.
Nice putt right there. You know, even though it's one nation under par, those guys were a bunch under par. And Jason Lynn ended up with a 2-stroke victory over Connor Thompson in what was a very heated and back and forth match. I think Connor actually had the lead for a while, and Jason made a move toward the end of the round and ended up passing Connor late. Both of them played great, as well as Chris Becker, Austin Finley, and Kevin Cox. Everybody played pretty good, but Jason Lynn was our medalist, and congratulations to him.
And a slight miscalculation by Tennessee Tech, but nonetheless, we mentioned that the other pair apparently has the hole pushed or bettered.
You know, I'm sure there'll be a few things said about Jason Lynn being the favorite, since he was definitely the highest rated player here, but you know, there's something to be said about being expected to win and winning. You know, that's a tough nut to crack there. So congratulations to Jason Lynn.
Absolutely. National medalist disc golf champion, Collegiates. Back to the tee on 18, Mississippi State.
Nope. Go. Go. Skip right.
And that was a little bit of an early release there.
We're looking at the tee on number 15. Uphill to the bullpen. Ooh, caught a little bit of that corner tree.
Had a little salad on the way to the bullpen there. Arkansas Razorbacks on the tee. Big skip. We have the San Diego State Aztecs. You know, word was early on that they were the favorite to win this thing. And although it looks like they're probably not going to win, they have had a very respectable showing, and that was a really good shot right there.
First time in attendance.
Good shot there. Just a little bit long and wide.
A lot of work going into the development of this course over the years. Opened in 2006, the year of inception for the NCDDC. After the PDGA World Championships, the course was divided into two layouts. The Hippo course and the Pine Valley Hogback. Watching players approach the 15th fairway of the Hippo course, the site of our championship flight.
You know, with the evidence of all the work that has been done to this course over the past few years, you'd think Pete May was retired, but this guy's got a full-time job as well as another full-time job, and he's only 70 years young.
I heard he's gainfully employed, too.
Do not ever play him in any kind of game that he wants to gamble. He will whoop you right on the spot.
Just recently heard about the story of him hustling Joe Theismann for $1,000 on the ping pong table. Successfully.
Yeah, do not play table tennis, especially with him, even if he has a serving tray.
We have the Mississippi State Bulldogs alongside the Iowa State Cyclones approaching the green on 18. Got a couple in the lagoon and a couple inside the border. That black tube representing the out of bounds line here. It's a large green, but from some of the distances on the flanks, I just don't know if it's a go for it situation. Unless, of course, you're not concerned with all the hoopla or having to make room in the trunk for a big trophy. I'd be going for it.
Well, it's definitely a wide green, but it's only about 35 feet deep, so placement on this green is very important. Yeah, if you're not parked right under the basket, side to side is where you want to be running it from, because it is really dangerous if you're putting straight at it.
go back to the bullpen. Arkansas successfully inside the railings. San Diego State looming. They're in position for a birdie. Go back to Iowa State on 18. Not sure what he's doing here unless it's picture time.
Well, those rocks are out of bounds, I would think. So he really, that's not a meter. He could take probably another 2 feet from there. Iowa State, located in Ames, Iowa. One of the cities they used for the World Championships a few years back.
That shot going out of bounds. Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Oh, very dangerous place to putt from. That could be trouble. Looks like UAH and Clemson.
It was in the lost disc territory.
Yeah, that looked like Austin Finley walking up toward the basket. Not sure why he's walking ahead of the player shooting there.
A little bit low, but safely underneath.
Austin Finley, one of our 2011 All-Americans.
Wow, good putt.
Looked like it might have been a birdie for UAH.
This is the fourth day of the event, ladies and gentlemen. In the middle of Championship Sundays, you see University of Alabama at Huntsville complete their team's half of the alternate shot round. This is a difficult format. In good form. Clemson Tigers.
Well, I tell you what, Craze, they're getting their money's worth this week. Each of these teams has thrown between 800 and 1,000 throws. That's a whole bunch of fun.
So how many over would that be?
My calculator is in the bag.
Take a glance back. We've got East Tennessee State in attendance and Tennessee Tech.
Looking back at the tee for the bullpen.
Beautiful day for disc golf. Thanks to those of you at home for donating and showing your generosity. You are the lifeblood of the broadcasts. Never too late to win prizes. In just a moment, we'll receive the names for our next winners.
Looked like a good shot there. Oh, just a little bit short. Looked like an easy 3, though. There you have Connor Thompson, who put on quite a show yesterday and looked like he was going to be the winner, but lost at the very end.
And not much conviction to that.
Wow, that was a smooth throw. Just a little bit light.
Notice that the Gentleman laid the disc down rather than to toss it, even though not in use.
I'm sure Levon Wolf had something to do with that. Wow, that stuck?
Now a mere 20, 25 feet away, but with the bullpen rails in his vision, that's going to encumber the putt quite a bit.
Now let's see if Nathan Pitts can put it inside the bullpen. Not gonna come, I don't think.
Big skip.
Well, pretty close. Another putt, another encumbered putt.
Tricky it is. Look at the beautiful Georgia pines in the background, ladies and gentlemen, and the sprawling Georgia sunshine at an abundance here. A fantastic day to show the culmination of the National Collegiate Disc Golf Championships. We'll crown our national team champions later on this afternoon. Right now you're watching the action on number 18. There's a team from Purdue, the Boilermakers, designing their strategy here on the Treasure Isle.
Great shot.
Great distance perception, perfect.
That guy in the corner is safe. Safe. Wow.
And that
It's no good.
appears the out of bounds border stopped it from going outside the green. And it's obviously a good result. East Tennessee State having a great time, bringing many friends to the event this year. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to announce our newest prize winners as soon as we receive that information. And at the end of the day in the broadcast, we'll be giving away the Innova Sport Disc Golf Target, the portable target, brought to you by Innova Champion. All excited for that. And we do appreciate your generosity by doing so, and encourage you to stick with us for the rest of the 2011 tour as Disc Golf Planet broadcasts the best in disc golf. Here we are at 15.
Wow, what a putt. We haven't seen too many of them over top of that bullpen rail, which looks to be about 6 feet tall. To me, it would seem like 9 feet tall because it's way over my head.
So are a lot of other things. Many more surprises await the players when they complete the bullpen. Up next is the Graveyard, a tricky, this time 437-foot layout that features the out-of-bounds graveyard, just a mere 2 feet from the basket. And the basket, of course, suspended in air. Huntsville, just left and short. Every stroke becoming so much more important. It's a great example, Dave, of what you were talking about. Just minimize your motion. Leave the work to the arm.
So maybe everything's not over my head.
The tent. I was talking about the tent.
Touche.
Thank you, David. You can have the car. Folks, you're on the 18th green here. Tennessee Tech tapping in. This will be for a birdie here as we see Purdue just 12 feet away.
You know, some of these guys are old enough to drink, and if I was going to a school that had a name like the Boilermakers, I might be having one later.
I'm sure they've got fans at home cheering for them right now. And Tennessee Tech, and with a great drive and putt for birdie. We had some special guests, and as Dave's mentioned, we have Dave Fehlberg, coach of the Oregon team. We also have Merle Whitford, the Cal State University Monterey Bay coach, assisting the tournament as a sanctioned PDGA rules official. It's nice to see we have a lot of professional players in the region that have come here to support Pete in the event and our players. So Ken Climo, the champ, here making an appearance earlier this week to show his good luck.
Double G, Garrett Gerthy, the premier distance disc golfer on tour.
Yes. So just finishing their round, making their way over to the PDGA tent, turn in their scorecards. We began with a shotgun start this morning, and our top cards teed off in the ascending order. And I'm joined here live with Dave Greenwell, my co-host. I'm Crazy John Brooks. It's a pleasure to bring you this live coverage here from the discgolfcenter.com studios here at the Hippodrome. It's all about passion, fellowship, and collegiate pride this week, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring to you this final coverage of the National Collegiate Disc Golf Championships. We've already announced our overall winner, our medalist winner, David.
Yes, we have, and he played outstanding. I don't know if it translated into a team title, but we're going to find out here in a little while.
Jason Lynn, congratulations. And plenty more information. Once again, in just a moment, we'll receive the names here in the studio and will enable us to give away these next sets of prizes. Take a look at the Disc Nation scoreboard on screen here. Jason Lynn, as we mentioned.
You can see it right there. Yeah, that was Jason Lynn from Augusta State, Connor Thompson from Clemson, Chris Becker from Oregon, Austin Finley from Tennessee Tech, and Kevin Cox from San Diego State.
Well done, David. I stand to be corrected. Thank you to Disc Nation.
Okay, we're back to hole 14. It's winding down and heating up. Sounds like some contradictory statements there. Okay, we've been informed that Oregon is 2 throws ahead with 4 holes to go. Still very much anybody's disc game. You know, 2 strokes can be made up on 1 hole, Crazy, and they've got 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, 5 more holes. Correct. 2 throws can be made up in 1 hole.
See the foreground of number 14 green. Sunlight trickling through these Georgia pines and the oaks, actually planted at the 2006 World Championships.
You know, these last handful of holes, every one of them have some serious OB very near the basket, so no lead is safe going into these last couple of holes, and if they go in anywhere one stroke or tied on the last hole, that could be a pretty scary green.
See Huntsville and Clemson walking
Back to the green of 14. Our defending champions, Augusta State, and our current leaders, Oregon. Only 2 strokes separate the two teams. Every stroke is huge from this point out. You see him stepping off to see if he's outside of 10 meters, which if he's outside of 10 meters, he's able to fall forward after he releases his disc.
I've got him at 35 right now.
I'm sure a lot of you are wondering about why would you want to fall forward. But if you fall toward the basket, it usually helps direct it toward the basket.
Pretty healthy run on that.
You know, it really was, but he took all that time and everything was set up great, and then he pretty much lunged. He
Blasted
didn't
it.
really allow that putt to
Do its own
materialize
thing.
right. Yeah, he lunged at it at the last second. Oh, wow, that was very close.
It bounced out right. Again, we're in an alternate shot format, ladies and gentlemen. Each team comprised of 2 pairs playing an alternate order amongst them and choosing the lowest score between the 2 teams to post.
It's looking like Chris Becker. That to extend the lead to 3.
That's going to leave a mark. Augusta State still having to manage this putt.
Looks like Nate Bush will be up next.
And stayed in on the left side.
Well, I tell you, 3 strokes is way bigger than 2 going into the last 4 holes, so Augusta State has their work cut out for them.
Take a look at number 17 here, High Water, San Diego State.
Nice attempt. Great result. If it's not going in, staying close to the basket is good on this hole, because we've seen a lot of them hit the cage and go right in the water.
And Lagloon's just 8 feet from the base of the pin, too.
And you know, if they go in the water, it's not like normal when you can take it where it went out, which is about 7 feet from the basket. They have to go to a drop zone and make a really difficult putt.
They're just establishing throwing order, apparently. And back to 15.
Nate Bush on the tee, Oregon, with what we think is a 3-stroke lead with 4 holes to go, playing the bullpen, hole 15. We have a big sweeping hyzer. Just outside. He might even be able to throw through the gate on that putt.
That tree is in a very precarious position, too, once you fly over this green.
Here we have Noah Pulitzer.
.279 feet.
Look like a very similar lie to the We just got an update on the scores. Augusta State is now down 4. They need one back here bad. Patrick May. Oh, in and out of the bullpen. That is tough luck there. Seems like that has been the theme of the day for Augusta State. They have had some really tough breaks. Not to mention the fact that Oregon has played very well. Oh, no skip at all.
Just can't get a break for Augusta State.
Looks like that hit in a sand trap.
It's a very exciting part of the event, folks. In just a moment, we'll have our next set of names for some prizes to be given away. Don't forget our grand prize, an Innova Sport portable disc catcher. Thank you for your generosity. Today's broadcast and coverage of the final round of the National Collegiate Disc Golf Championships brought to you by Innova Champion Discs, makers of incredible technology in the disc realm, as well as the disc catcher and accessories for players of all levels. Innova Champion, creating champions for decades. Lead group coverage here at the National Collegiate Disc Golf Championships. As we're standing by for the names of our prize winners, we'll take a look at number 15, the bullpen. Here's Oregon.
Chris Becker.
And safely there for par.
Yeah, that was almost impossible putt to make there with the branches hanging down on the trees, and I guess he could have skipped it off one of the rails of the bullpen, but that was a really tough putt. We have Derek Penfield for birdie. All right, if Augusta State has a chance, it has to start right here. They need one of these guys to birdie. What a run. They really need this putt to stay in the match.
To have it go awfully fast if he's going to throw it through those two rails.
Yeah, this is a really tricky putt. If he tries to jam this thing, he could jam his hand into the rail. He could hit the disc right on the rail. But instead, he stuck it right in the middle and cut it down to 3. I believe Jason Lynn, who is our medalist national champion, won on the last hole in the singles competition. Can they do it again in the team competition, Chris?
Yeah, they're certainly looking like they are wanting to mount an attack. As you said, the most OB we can find, and treacherous OB on these last 3 holes, all kinds of tests awaiting our leader card.
Well, surely anything can happen here, but if I'm Oregon, I'm feeling pretty good about myself with a 3-stroke lead and 3 holes to play.
One hole, the graveyard, is not a very conceivable birdie hole either, and then followed by 2 par 3s.
I believe
That's
this is
18.
Ryan Black from Arkansas.
Get and bounce. Get and bounce. Yes, there you go.
Oh, that was so
Stayed
close.
short.
I think Ryan is one of the few 3-time competitors here.
Hey, I thought you were laying on the OB.
This is the 5th year of the National Collegiate Championships.
You're laying on the pipe. They said I'm on the pipe.
Of course, the disc needing to be touching grass or over grass to be considered inbounds.
Yeah, if he's just leaning against the line is out of bounds. So he has to be touching some part of inbounds to be considered inbounds.
Fairway. Back to 18. It's got a float. Yep. And another short attempt. He's going to pull up to the drop zone. It's great to see all these team colors shown here, folks. Teams from 19 states in attendance. Over 200 players here at the NCDGC. Back to 16.
There you are. Collegiate singles champion, medalist Jason Lynn. He's asking, he's looking hard. He likes it.
Real close to the graveyard. Lynn seems to be attempting to carry his group, not giving up. Here's Oregon.
He made a push in the last 3 holes in the singles and hoping to repeat it in the team competition. Here you have Derek Penfield.
437 feet. It's got a lift. That tee slightly lower than the fairway, and the green, of course, an elevated platform with a disc catcher is suspended. Looming OB graveyard just to the left.
Yeah, hole 16 is playing 437 feet from the black. This is a tough hole to get close to. But Chris Becker, last year's medalist, is one of the guys in this tournament that can reach this hole. Looked like he chose to play the wide hyzer. And left it a little bit wide there, but it should be an easy 3. Chris looking a little dejected there. I mean, you shouldn't expect to part this hole, I don't think.
It's exciting to see players of this age enjoy this type of drama and suspense here in a competitive arena. What a great venue for this NCDGC Championship Sunday here at the Hippodrome. This is final round coverage. The National Collegiate Disc Golf Championship team title on the line as we see Augusta State, defending champions, attempting to regain composure and somehow outdo the 3-stroke lead developed by the Oregon Ducks. Joined by co-host Dave Greenwell, Hall of Famer, disc golf analyst, and good friend. I'm Crazy John Brooks, inviting you to stay tuned. Our afternoon is still young. In just a moment, we'll have more results. Right now, let's go to Rebecca Duffy here at the Hippodrome.
I'm standing in behind the actual basket of 16 watching this lead group. I can't say it enough. Augusta got it right up there. They should have a 2 and gain a point back up on Oregon and make it a better battle in the last few holes. As you guys know, Jason, he actually came back to win the collegiates yesterday in the singles competition. And Oregon's just 2 strokes back, I think. I mean, 2 strokes up. So Oregon is 3 throws up, and this little sidearm by Nate Bush. That's really risky with that graveyard there, but he pulls it off. So
That's
he's parked
exactly
it
what they
for 3.
needed to have happen right there. They needed one guy to just be underneath, right by the wood. Easy 3. Pretty much assuring them of only losing 1 if Augusta State makes birdie. This shot right here, if I'm Augusta State, I'm just throwing that right up to the wood to assure myself of a 3, just in case something weird happens.
Excellent
That is
shot.
not what you were looking to have happen. That is no gimme.
No,
Makeable, but not a gimme.
if they miss that putt, they're going in the graveyard.
You're watching our leader group approach the 16th green here at the Hippodrome, dubbed the Graveyard. Over 400 feet from tee to pin, and some exciting elements here left to deal with as Oregon tries to maintain a 3-stroke lead over Augusta State, our defending champions.
Here you're looking at Noah Pulitzer. And they're safely up by it for their 3, so Noah needs to run this thing. Whether it goes in the graveyard on a miss or not, he needs to run this and seal the deal. Oh my goodness, on top of the basket. How close was that, Gravy?
How cool was that?
Wow.
I mean, okay, but
Holy cow.
Would somebody get the take a picture, please? Can I get a
Yeah,
picture?
that is like a crowning moment.
He might want to use that for his Facebook profile for a couple hours.
Well, this putt for Augusta State with Patrick May is no gimme. We thought it was a little closer than that, but this is definitely one he needs to make. Oh,
Not even close. That's unfortunate. And a very difficult shot remaining. As we mentioned, lots of drama awaiting these players, not only on the tee, but as they approach the green. No shot could be too close, as the title for national team champion is on the line.
what a turn of events this has turned into. We thought they might be closing the gap to 2, and this actually could end up taking it back to 4 if he can't can this. Wow, pressure putt there. But you would expect no less from the current 2011 Collegiate champion.
That's right, well done. Just a moment, we'll go to number 17. An interesting aspect with these final 2 holes, they are both of potential hole-in-ones. Let's go over to Rebecca here. She's very close to the 16th green. Rebecca?
I am going to grab. Okay, I'm gonna grab Nate Bush. Nate, will you come over here? You guys are going into the final 2 holes and you're ahead. Do you know how many strokes you're ahead by now after this hole?
I think we only have by a couple right now.
Okay, what's going through your mind going through these last 2 holes? What's the strategy?
We'd like to get a birdie on the next hole and get in the island and seal the deal.
Are the nerves churning up a little bit right now?
Just for me, they go down as I play through. So
Well, good luck. Keep your nerves calm, play it smart, play it safe, and good luck.
thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca.
You know, I really can't believe that he doesn't know that they're up by 3 with 2 holes to go, and I would forget about birdie on this hole. I would be throwing a safe shot and winning by 1. You only have to be ahead by 1 when it's over. So safe play on these next 2 holes, and they should be the new national champions.
Don't forget, the number 17, dubbed High Water, has that looming lagoon just 2 meters behind the basket. So any errant shot could potentially end in the water, taking you back to the drop zone, not just a 6-foot par comeback. This is action coming to you live on Championship Sunday. Looking at the front edge of the 18 green, where our leader groups will be very soon. They're taking to the 17th tee right now, Dave. An interesting hole, not as long as it's played, not as short as it's played up to this point.
Yeah, hole 17 plays 367 feet from the blacks. And I know there's at least a couple of guys on each of these teams that can reach that hole. You're looking at the San Diego State Aztecs, trying to decide exactly what disc they're going to throw. We're back at 17. Whoa. That one looked like it was rolling into the water and actually rolled back up for a pretty good birdie look right there. That was very fortunate. I believe that was Alabama Huntsville. .367. Another good shot. You're looking at Nate Bush. That looks deep, Dave. Oh, great. That looks like it's over, Grace.
Great. Well, nonetheless, a lot of practice and training showing its benefits here. Oregon on the tee at 17. And that'll go into the high water.
Well, the good news for Oregon is they didn't need that second one. The first one is right there. And even if one of them falls down and misses this putt, it's still going to be a gimme par. So I can't imagine them missing this shot.
Require Augusta to have a hole-in-one on number 18 for any chance of tying Oregon. See our teams making their way down the fairway. Desire Championship round coverage here, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching live through the video portal of Disc Golf Planet.
I'm sure Dave Fehlberg is pretty happy with his team's performance this week. Getting closer to crowning a new national champion is the way it looks. If it's something other than that, I'll be in shock.
See in the background the PDGA tent. It's going to be on tour all year and every year. You see that at any major event. Come by and say hi to the PDGA. Become a member if you haven't already. Take a look at our teams gathering here off to the side of 17. Oregon with two great shots and birdie attempts, and Augusta State up close on one.
Actually, one of Oregon's went in the water there. Chris Becker will try to save par here. Which is a bit of a foregone conclusion. They really don't need this. Which makes it a little bit easier to execute. Well, needs to grab that pretty quick.
Mark it.
Yeah, I think you go right back to the drop zone if it goes in the water there.
Nate went in the water also.
This is corner right here?
See the yellow stake designates the throwing zone.
Now, that was Chris Becker that went in the water, and Noah's going to be putting from the same spot.
Thank you, Dave.
Wow, great putt right there from Noah. Of course, you know, it is a way easier shot when it doesn't have to go in. What a great drive by Nate Bush.
Over to 18. Oregon with a 3-stroke lead here going into 18.
Looks like University of Alabama Huntsville on the tee. Nathan Pitts going for the green. All right. Nice shot there for Nathan. You know, no matter what place you finish, you want that last drive to be on the green.
A lot of folks here from the area, as well as here to show support for our players. A great gallery assembling here. And we're getting closer and closer to crowning our new National Collegiate Team Disc Golf Champion here at the Hippodrome. You're watching final round coverage here in North Augusta, South Carolina.
You're looking at the teams from Clemson and the University of Alabama Huntsville as they head toward their last hole here at the 2011 National Collegiate Championships.
It's really been a pleasure to watch all this young blood enter the game, and without all the necessarily intense focus of a professional event, but more of a passionate side, and certainly watching the school colors take a big play here. I'm Crazy John Brooks, and once again, just over our shoulder, you see our final hole of the championship coming up shortly for our leader group. Right now we're watching Clemson and University of Alabama Huntsville approach 18. My co-host Dave Greenwell, been here all week showing you some of the inside tips and what have you. Appreciate your joining us. Very exciting event in disc golf history. This is the 5th year of this event, certain to not be the last. Thanks to our local communities of Augusta, Georgia, and North Augusta, South Carolina. The hospitality and the beautiful complex that is the Hippodrome. Just behind the tee of 18, we see our gallery and members of support showing up to watch our leader card tee off. Back to 18.
You know, Oregon is about to become the first team outside of the South to win this event.
Certainly a signature of growth for our players as well as the event. It was a great
Nice
finish
way to
for
finish
Clemson.
there for Connor Thompson, who had a great week, just barely losing the medalist round to Jason Lynn. I'm sure his mom and dad are pretty proud. Vanessa and Coleman. Another great putt. Boy, I tell you what, the putting today has been so much better than it's been all week, and it's pretty obvious why. I mean, not only have these guys been practicing all week, but the weather laid down, and it has just been a picture-perfect day for this final day.
I totally agree.
Oh, a little cling on there.
Well, folks at home, once again, we're coming up on your last chance. If you might want to get busy right now, your last chance to place your donation while logged on to Disc Golf Planet and become eligible for the Innova Sport disc catcher to be given away in just a moment. This is your last chance to donate, folks. Big prize right around the corner. Thank you.
And even if you've got a basket in your backyard already, who doesn't want to?
Half the walk, twice the chains.
Nathan Pitts.
And certainly great closing putt to be proud of. Many miles to be driven and flown by these players, folks. 19 states representing 35 colleges and universities across America. Our team players total of 208, setting a new precedent here at the Hippodrome. I want to give a thanks to Pete May, our tournament director, his assistant, Alan Kane, for dedication and preparation. And once again, our local resources, the Augusta Sports Council, the Augusta Chronicle, and Asset Advisors, providing their support to bring this year's national championships to fruition. We look back at our gallery. We're assembling here is our Augusta State defending champions next to our current leaders, the Oregon Ducks. Dave, here we go to 18. Our final hole's upon us. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, if you will, a drum roll, our winner of the Innova Sport portable disc catcher is
Curtis David Duke.
Curtis. You just scored, buddy. You're our most recent and final prize winner. Thank you for your generosity through your donation, and those of you around the world, folks, thank you for showing your kindness and support to bringing the best in disc golf to you at home through Disc Golf Planet. Here we go to 18.
Medalist Jason Lynn on the tee. Left him with a little bit of work yet to do. That may be OB. Safe.
It's safe, Dave, and that was 1 foot away from a hole-in-one.
That one is no gimme, but it's safe nonetheless.
It's got to drop. And another successful green entry.
You know, even though it looks like Oregon is going to win this thing, Augusta State really did have a great showing. You know, the defending champ has all the pressure, and they handled it pretty daggone good.
They could have fallen into the river at some point. A very difficult beginning for both teams.
Derek Penfield.
Spun out a little bit. That'll be out of bounds.
There you have last year's medalist, Chris Becker. We are not watching Tin Cup here. Chris can seal the deal just by putting it on the green. Uh-oh. Yeah! I'm not sure why they're clapping. That looks like that is OB.
Not able to see it.
I don't know what they're thinking there. I mean, they're really celebrating the fact that that is OB.
I guarantee you Merle will make it real clear real quick.
Oh my goodness.
He'll have to re-tee.
Well, Nate Bush parked the last hole to create what seemed like an insurmountable lead. Let's see if he can seal the deal right here. Needs to get on the green. Oh my goodness.
Short.
Whoa.
Out of bounds, Dave.
Holy cow. Ladies and gentlemen, do not leave your screens here. This is getting pretty interesting. There's a 3-throw lead.
for Oregon.
He has to get this on the green.
Jason Lynn from Augusta State, already close and in birdie range.
Oh, wow, that was some kind of break. If that hadn't have stayed on the green, we could have been looking at the biggest meltdown ever in the history of the Collegiate Championships.
That was close. Just another couple
Wow.
of inches. That could have made it through the back gate of the OB. That's out of bounds. A lot of drama here, ladies and gentlemen. That'll definitely change our distance between the top two teams, but we're just a couple putts away from crowning our new National Collegiate team champions here at the Hippodrome. We have a couple shots. I believe we have a shot to be made from the drop zone.
I think you do, Chris. They have to make this putt, though, to freeze them out.
To put Jason out.
If Augusta State makes two and Oregon misses this putt, then we're tied.
That's right. This is all live coverage, ladies and gentlemen.
That was an amazing turn of events and very fortunate for Oregon. I mean, they played great the whole round, but it came down to one lucky break to seal this deal. Now they still have to make a putt, but being on the green is way better than not.
That's for sure. This drama being brought to you in living color by Disc Golf Planet. We want to thank those of you at home who've been logged on all week. Thank you for your generosity through donations. Once again, our sponsors, worldsports.com. Disc Nation providing us our leaderboard all week long. DynamicDiscs.com, of course, providing the Winner's Circle interview platform, which we'll be visiting soon, and our T-Side Studios.
Well, these are
by Disc Golf Center.
These are two of the biggest putts that either of these guys are ever going to attempt. They're both going to be out, so Augusta State is going to have two chances to put back the pressure on Oregon. They just need to make one of these. That was a nice fake. I thought he airballed it.
I was ready to hear chains.
Patrick May. Oh.
Low and right next to the OB border.
Wow, it has come down to this. A made putt, and Oregon has to make their putt. A missed, and it's over. Do not be low. Give this a chance.
Oh, man, that's out of bounds, Dave.
Wow.
And that will determine the fate.
What a dramatic
champion.
finish for this 2011 Collegiate National Championships. How could you be a college student that knows how to play disc golf and not want to be a part of this next year?
So exciting, and we certainly have some more support waiting for our teams. Let's contact the ncdgc.com and find out how you could become the next Collegiate Disc Golf National Champion.
2010 medalist Chris Becker. A make and it's over. And it's over. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2011 Collegiate Disc Golf Championships winner is Oregon Ducks from Eugene, Oregon.
What a great display here. And we have in just a moment, we'll be greenside here at 18 with Rebecca in just a moment, folks. You just saw the culmination of the National Collegiate Disc Golf Championship team title being awarded. Let's go live now to Rebecca Duffy. Rebecca. Just a minute. We'll bring you there in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. See Nate Bush picking up that drive that he certainly was worried about earlier on.
Wow, what a nervous, exciting finish.
Never over till it's over. Definitely want to congratulate the Augusta State Jaguars for a great show in this final round. But right now, let's go to our new champions with Rebecca Duffy. Rebecca?
I'm here with the University of Oregon from Eugene, Oregon, 2011 National Collegiate Champions. And I've got to say, I'm a little bit proud of my Oregon boys here. Chris, what was going through your mind on this last hole? I mean, talk about cutting it close there.
Well, this is my nemesis hole. Last year I took a 4 on this, and I took a 6 on it on blue, so glad to get a 4 here and seal the deal.
Do you think the team's experience from last year helped you with this year? We had the same battle, Augusta State, University of Oregon last year. Was this a little bit of redemption?
Yeah, it was. And I think our experience was really good. We knew what it took to win, and just couldn't put it together last year, but did this year.
What's this collegiate win mean to you, Chris?
It means a lot. I think the team win is the most important thing, and we took care of that.
Well, the morale, you seem to keep your morale up. Augusta had a few bad holes in the beginning, and you guys played smooth all the way through. Was that your captaining to keep these guys' morale up?
He's the captain. But it was his captaining.
Well, Noah, tell us, what did you do to keep the morale up on this team?
Oh man, we just try to keep the mood light. We're all buddies on and off the course. We play a lot together. We, hang out together off the course, everything. We just keep it light, throw it up there, put it in the basket.
How do you guys plan to celebrate this victory at the Collegiate Championships?
Oh man, I don't know. We'll have to see about that.
Well, is there anything you want to say to your fans back at home? I know there's a lot of you supporting.
Just go Ducks. That's about it.
Go Ducks. You heard it from the University of Oregon Ducks. Pete May, congratulations.
I want to thank you for great playing. It's my pleasure to have Oregon here, and I'm proud of you as champions.
Did you guys know that you're the first team from the West that hasn't been Southern to win this title?
Yeah.
Way to represent our state. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your championship of the Collegiate National Champions. What do you think, guys? I hope you enjoy this broadcast, and keep watching discgolfplanet.tv.
Thanks, Rebecca, and congratulations to the Oregon Ducks and your teammates. And also a shout out. I'd like to find out how soon Dave Felberg finds out about his team's success. And once again, certainly congratulations to our Augusta State Jaguars for putting on such a great challenge here. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our coverage of this year's NCDGC. We hope you've enjoyed the sights and sounds from the Hippodrome here in North Augusta. Stay tuned for the next Disc Golf Planet broadcast. And once again, thank you to our viewers and generous supporters for making it possible to bring you this live coverage of the 2011 National Collegiate Disc Golf Championships. Thank you to our sponsors, Innova Champion Discs, the Professional Disc Golf Association, and the Philadelphia Insurance Companies for their support. On behalf of the Disc Golf Planet technical crew and production staff, field reporter Rebecca Duffy and co-host Dave Greenwell, I'm Crazy John Brooks saying so long and be well. Well done. Ken Franks sizing up the green and will yield. No, he's going in. And Franks slips it in the low and right. It's a little bit tough playing at home, but I'll tell you, with all the activity, Terry, we've got a little bit of a show taking place after the golf is over as well. It's a great atmosphere set up so far.
What has really been phenomenal is how the PDGA has stepped up this year. They've even brought us this beautiful tent that you're seeing right now to really bring that festival-like atmosphere. Players, spectators, people can go in there, check out what the PDGA has to offer, and talk all about other disc golf events going on. And it also helps set the stage for other things going on. What's going on right after the action concludes today here, Crazy?
Well, as we take a nice glance here, the at the tent. You know, of course, that's got a huge flat screen in it. They'll be broadcasting the Disc Golf Planet broadcast there in the tent. And as the afternoon progresses, we'll have our championship putt at the end of 18. Our open groups and all of our professional groups will gather in front of the Parks and Recreation stage here. KC Mo has provided us with a big shelter stage. We've got Alexander the Great playing later, directly after the awards. Just a great environment, a bit of a festival atmosphere for everyone to enjoy. It's not always all about the Frisbee golf. There's Matt Oram prepared to tee. We're sending our foursomes off as a tee time start, so every 8 minutes we'll have a different group. And that is the style rather than the shotgun start, where all players would travel as foursomes to their tee, and then with the horn that we all know that's pleasing to some ears and annoying to others. But take a glance here at number 1, Terry.
Hey, Crazy, what we have here on hole 1 is Joe Revere, Bradley Williams, Matty Oram, and Philo Brathwaite, all just waiting to tee off. As I said, it looks like Joe has the tee first. Joe is currently sitting at 9 under par. And
number 1 sits atop the box here, the most commanding hill here at Swope Park, 390 feet between the tee and pin. Discs will have to stay low as this center ceiling is rather low to make it all the way up on the greenside hill. We've got our wildlife areas down in the middle there. Those, of course, are out of bounds. You see to the right and then center players front and to the left. Those are all out of bounds areas. It's got to turn, and that hit one of the more frequented trees out here. That's a very difficult approach shot awaiting.
Next to tee, we have Matty Oram out of Mobile, Alabama.
That Roll Tide vibe going out to all the Tuscaloosa folks. We hope their recovery is swift. And right down the center for Oram. And that'll leave that classic 75-footer uphill for birdie. Just glance at Jack Lowe, tournament director. Next up,
Philo Brathwaite, also sitting at 8 under, tied with Matty O. Philo shooting a 62 yesterday as he's approaching the tee on hole 1. Crazy, there's also 2 Mandos on this hole that they have to go right down the center of.
Much lower than desired, obviously. And we are not sure if that cleared the collection area, but Philo's got a big round ahead of him. This is a great foursome. You know, it's once again, we're mentioning players are sent off the tee off number 1 in foursomes, and they'll go throughout the afternoon. Our top groups in the men's open division will tee off approximately 12:30 to 1 o'clock, and we'll be covering all of this action live here through the Disc Golf Planet. Those of you that have logged on so far realize we've made some changes to the website. Appreciate your suggestions and the modifications, all based on input. So thank you for sharing your suggestions. And it's just as easy as that, Terry. There's a new twist to becoming part of the Disc Golf Planet family. Why don't you tell our audience about it?
Well, what we've done is we've made it easier for you to win stuff, and I don't know anyone, we haven't received any complaints about that. All you have to do is go out there, log in, become a one-time member, which makes you eligible for all of the prizes. Lifetime member makes you eligible for all of the prizes at all of our giveaways. Yesterday, giving away Disc Golf Center certificates, Keen shoes. It was just a plethora of stuff, and today we'll be doing the same. So make sure you go out, become a member as we watch Bradley Williams approach on hole 1.
Right through that tight gap. Gotta be happy with that. You'll see a lot of these very tight corridors to have to navigate here at Swope Park, developed in 1982 by Tom Engel. Of course, my first start in the game, Terry, was as the course pro here in 1982 with a big Coleman cooler full of chips, pop, and candy bars, and taking greens fees. But I think we'll have to agree, this was one of the most accommodating disc golf complexes we'll find because of the rich relationship between Dan Cashin, who's the Swope Park operations manager here for disc golf, and the Kansas City Mo Parks and Rec department. An incredible relationship has developed over the dedication and the years, and Dan Cashin is to be commended. I'm sure he's happy watching all the action here.
Crazy, if I wasn't 4 years old when this course started, I swear I would have been here already.
Oh, that made my back hurt. Taking a glance up the number 1 fairway, Oram seems to have cleared the collection area.
As Oram steps up to his shot, I'd just like to quickly point out, next up will be the women's lead card. I really like what they've done here at the KC Wide Open. They've taken the women's top card and integrated it just a few groups short of the men's top card. That's so that the gallery is going to get a little bit of the action of both the men and the women's top finishers.
Of course, our top ladies now crushing a huge part of the men's field. Here's Brathwaite for birdie. Bit of a precarious spot for number 1. You see the other pins located midway up the fairway to the left. The blue pin, that's our medium range. That's 310 feet. Oram. And close to the necessary distance. Speaking of Matt's, paid attention to his home folks, Tuscaloosa. We want to reach out to our Alabama listeners and other folks, our viewers out of the Southeast. Want to wish you a very swift and quality recovery from the sequence of events recently.
Joe Revere to putt.
Got the height. Oh, close. That's another example of these darts that'll be thrown at slope. With the slope and almost a constant steering to the fairways here, it's got some kind of angle on almost every instance, Terry.
Well, as Joe starts off, we were just looking at his stats. He's been improving by roughly 20 points per round. So if he holds steady to that, he's looking for a 1058 rated round today. Unfortunately, his first putt doesn't go in. We'll see what he can do the rest of the day. Here's Bradley Williams.
A smooth release for par.
Bradley is one of the smoothest putters out there. As you saw, his drive and his approach just completely effortless when he releases a disc, as we watch the women's lead card come up on hole 1.
Everybody dressed into the 9s today. It's such a great and it's an event itself, the Wide Open, as we mentioned. It's not just about the disc golf. We'd also have we got a great exhibit by the PDGA. We've got some live entertainment later this afternoon. Of course, we've had members of the media stop through. We welcome them as well. Players from all over the United States here to vie for that 29th annual Wide Open title. We watch the Oram Brathwaite foursome clear on number 1. As we mentioned before, coming up in just a moment, our top women's cards will be teeing off. We want to welcome you back live to Swope Park. This is in the heart of Kansas City, Missouri, established in 1982. You're joined by Terry Miller, co-host. I'm Crazy John Brooks, and proud to join you live through the miracles of the interweb. You're watching Disc Golf Planet. This is the 29th Wide Open. Coming up shortly, our coverage of the women's groups in a deep field. Yesterday, we saw Paige Pierce just stay
ready 15
on
over par. We're getting ready to tee off. Thank you very much, ladies, for coming to Kansas City. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Crazy, first up to tee, we are going to have our leader, Paige Pierce, who shot a 70 yesterday out at the Blue Valley course.
Tournament director Jack Lowe giving a few last-minute double checks with rules and out of bounds. Chris Temko, our course tournament designer, in charge of layouts here at all of our larger events, has done a great job to design the out of bounds areas, as well as incorporate some free space for our spectators. Up first will be Paige Pierce. Terry, what a great show yesterday at the Blue Monster.
She definitely brought her A game, shooting a 972 rated 70 at Blue Valley, which was the hottest score amongst all of the women competitors. Let's see what she does on hole 1.
Just a great asset for the game. Started right. And looks to have cleared that collection. Great way to start. You'll find yourself in deep trouble here if you veer off the fairway, especially in our middle of the turn, 10, 11, 12.
Just 3 strokes behind Paige Pierce is Liz Lopez.
little bit of some early cabbage. And folding back into the center. Great shot. She'll be putting uphill for birdie. Of course, the 2008 doubles mixed pairs. Excuse me.
I believe, Crazy, she was the 2009 doubles world champion here, played at Swope Park as well. Next up, Sarah Hokum, sitting at 12 over par, just 2 strokes behind Liz Lopez. And Sarah has clipped some of the trees with that forehand. She's going to have a difficult up and down.
But just a couple of meters away from out of bounds, yet safe. Des Redding, well versed here in Kansas City. Got a great game for Swope. It's straight, in or under. That's got some wind. And that looks OB, Terry. To be inside that right collection area, but we'll check just a moment. Hokum making her way right as soon as she can get down there and find out what kind of trouble she's got herself in. Paige seems to have a little bit of a smooth start right down the middle. Liz Lopez also ready for some game. So pleasant conditions here now. We're hovering in the lower 70s. Quite a contrast to earlier in the week when we had heat indices above 100 degrees, thunder showers, and actually today they are calling for some other conditions other than what we have now. But we'll just keep you posted and not jinx anything. You want to slip on a banana peel on your way to the award ceremony. Joined by Terry Miller, folks. You're here live at Swope Park. This is the Swope Gold Course. Players will be traversing today. It's an added 1,400 feet to the normal layout, and it's quite an exciting ceremonies to follow our golf. We've got a number of top pros, including current and former world championships, all gathered here in Kansas City. With our top women's cards having just teed off here, you're looking at Sarah Hokum on number 1.
Crazy, this leader card looks like there's a little separation amongst the players. As I said, Paige Pierce at 7 over par, Liz at 10 over par, and Sarah at 12, and Des on the end of the box at 15 over par. And here is Sarah's forehand, which you'll see most commonly out of Sarah, a little bit deep, and it looks like she is on the out of bounds line. And wow, I think she's going to be pleasantly surprised. Although she didn't want to go that deep, she was laying on the out of bounds lines from what we could tell.
Now here's Des checking out her point of entry. This collection area you see behind her, this is out of bounds. And all players will take a 1 to 2 meter relief.
Looks like she's going to be able to take in.
Hazardous with the rocks, I think. I guess since the string is in there, you're correcting me at the right time, Terry. Since the string was been installed, it goes back to the 1 meter. You originally had rocks here. There was some unplayable forgiving there. I'm glad I stand to be corrected. And Redding, obviously more qualified than most to run the Edge program, puts it right underneath.
Redding was on the lead card here today because she was actually tied with Valerie Jenkins, but she had the second hottest round at the Blue Valley course, shooting a 71, which is why she moved on to the leader card, and Val had dropped back to the second card even though they were tied. Again, all tiebreakers go to the previous round, and that is exactly why we see Des on the leader card today.
Paige taking the no doubt layup. Very wise on final day play, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you know that Liz's heart's beating a little bit there. Definitely within her grasp. That's great to see Paige developing a strategy on the first hole and sticking to it. This could be a sign of these future minds that we've got on the course these days. Liz Lopez staring down this. It's to be 38 feet. It's uphill. And didn't really have a chance.
It's going to be interesting to see the battles play out today on both of the leader cards in both men's and women's, with Paige Pierce and Liz Lopez being very good friends, battling it out for the title. And on the men's side, we have Avery Jenkins and Nate Doss, also very good friends and travel companions. So we'll see how the alliances and battles continue to unfold throughout the day.
That can really play as a a positive effect for some.
And for those at home watching, what they're doing is determining exactly if she is inbounds or out of bounds. If any part of your disc is touching inbounds, you are still considered inbounds. And as Des did, you can take up to 1 meter in from that spot, which is exactly what they're doing right now, roughly 3 feet.
The line that's directly behind Liz Lopez's foot is the out of bounds line for the green on number 17. Dez's foot is inside the fairway of number 1. As I mentioned before very clearly, the string on the left of the Frisbee, that is Sarah Hokum's line, is the string of 17. And folks, we've got, and the viewers will know this shortly, 17 green is right behind her. So we've got to watch that back foot being on the out of bounds line. Very risky. Boy, heartbreak.
Not exactly the way you'd like to start a round today. She got a good break with being in bounds there, but unfortunately could not capitalize. Des Redding, who went out of bounds on her first shot, is looking to get a bogey 4 here with this putt. And looked like that almost flipped out on the right side. She was a little wide right on that. The chains caught it and brought it back in. And Paige is going to continue with her 3-stroke lead by taking an easy par here. And Liz, as we said, just 3 strokes behind with a par as well.
I wonder if Hokum would have taken the full, meter of relief from the 17 out of bounds line, if that wouldn't have been enough to get it over the rim. But nonetheless, a lot of great lawn darts being thrown out here. Swope Park, it has a history of heartbreak as well. We've had some champions lose the last moment. We're going to have a chance to meet potentially our inaugural champion, Bob Field, later in the broadcast, dating back to 1983. The tournament was played at Shawnee Mission Park in Shawnee Mission, Kansas, to the west, about 25 miles. But nonetheless, out of all the different courses that have developed in Kansas City, we've come up to have a 4-course rotation, which really makes for a big weekend of disc golf.
It has, but my real question is, how many disc golf titles have you won here at Swope Park, Crazy? Too many to count?
Can we count league? Let's see. I can go back to a fall title in '85, and I never was able to win a wide open. I've got a few seconds, but that was all about just making the finals and playing in front of the home crowd. But having seen Natron Doss win his very first world title as a junior by 25 strokes, and at the age of 15, and then just things like that really make the city even more important to me. I love that people have historic moments here. We're looking at the tee on number 2. Very difficult placement. This is our championship at 389. The basket located up just in front of the clubhouse, as you see the top of your screen. There is an OB line left all the way. And right down the middle. Liz Lopez. And a beautiful turned over and laid out. Number 2, excuse me, here sponsored by Beckett Carduff and Eagle Products, owned by Duffy Carduff and the Carduff family. Tavish, Chauncey, Beckett. Hi out to Chris Sand, Maria, Sarah Hokum. Great control on that sidearm.
Well, Crazy, not only is there OB, as you mentioned, on the left side of the fairway where a right-handed hyzer could fall out, but a right-handed forehand could also go OB to the right side of the fairway, as we watch Des go with the backhand approach.
And all 4 of our ladies making the fairway in the short grass. We look up the basket on number 2, originally number 11 on the original Swope Park layout.
What seems so great about this layout, Crazy, is that everyone that is here at the park has an opportunity to spectate a variety of holes from perched on top of that hillside, just like it is behind hole 2.
And Casey-Mo Parks and Rec got us a picnic bench. Just a great arena, as Terry's mentioning. Those of you watching can come out and check out more of the broadcast, even live here in the PDGA tent. We'll show the broadcast live there in the tent in the background, watching our ladies walk up fairway 2. A lot of folks to thank. Terry, our broadcast being brought to you by the PDGA of Appling, Georgia, featuring the International Disc Golf Center, a great vacation destination too, featuring the Steady Ed Museum. It's Pierce taking a look at her second shot. It appears that Redding will be first. It's that textbook approach. Those of you that haven't become a member yet of the PDGA, you can log on. You can join through Disc Golf Planet as well. You log on to our .tv site, join up, get your number. Terry Miller mentioned we're approaching the 50,000 number mark.
With a backhand approach, Sarah Hookham.
Also, our support, very key, through Innova Champion Discs. Very popular name in the game, if not the number 1 for those of you that enjoy the Rock, the AVR, a number of famous names coming out of there. Building champions for decades. And finally, the Philadelphia Insurance Companies. Take a look at Liz Lopez sizing that up. Appears to be at the 50-foot mark. And not quite got her sights maybe tuned in, but had enough height.
And continuing exactly as she did on hole 1, Paige Pierce is going to play very conservative at this point, and she is nursing a 3-stroke lead, so I see nothing wrong with that. With these beautiful sloping fairways and hillsides, she wants absolutely no chance at the disc to hit the basket and roll away. So we watch Des Redding go for her par 3.
You know, this could develop a little bit of a provocation even within the foursome. That's toying. It's almost challenging one of the other ladies to go for it in a case like Liz, who had the chance to make it. You watch Holcomb after a great sidearm and a tap-in par. But it's like, come on, yeah, you want it? Come and get it.
She's going to make somebody earn it if they're going to take away that title from her.
Here's our approach on number 1. Obviously, directly between the 2 nature collection areas. Dutch Napier.
As we catch up on hole number 1, we're going to have Dutch Napier, Ricky Wasaki, Brian Schweberger, and Paul Dories. As I mentioned yesterday, Paul was questionable about coming back out to the Blue Valley course after sustaining a little bit of an injury during Friday's play, where he was almost mowed down by a golf cart of sorts. Unfortunately, there was a mix-up in communication, and Paul almost got run over by a golf cart, to put it bluntly. So,
I like the word almost.
to see that he's out here playing, it seems as if his hand and wrist are doing just fine. It still may be hindering him. We'll see his approach on hole 1.
Somehow being bumped by a golf cart and making it back inside the hotel room window from walking on the 30th story balcony on the outside of a hotel in Canton, China. I'm not feeling so bad for Dutch. Here's Paige looking at the downhill number 3. It's a challenge to keep the disc low enough to make it under the ceiling, yet end up flexing out at the bottom of this beautiful valley. And there's a gap. It's done perfectly, Terry.
Hole 3 playing downhill, coming in at 378 feet. As you said, it's all about keeping the disc low enough to penetrate through that window below the tree line.
That's the preferred route to the right side of that oak tree, and finishing left. And that's even closer for that birdie attempt. Sarah Holcomb is going to have quite a handful with the sidearm delivery. Unless it's going to roll, she's going to have to take a little extra distance left. Very difficult design here in the Tom Ingle course at Swope. Look at that, Terry, a crush.
Sarah has no problems with power. She generates it beautifully, throwing that forehand shot as her primary choice, as we watch Des Redding, who also has no problem throwing big, powerful shots.
That can flex, and it's going to turn over a little early, but nonetheless, all making it through the more difficult early half of the fairway. Got shooters on the right here, coming up on basket 7. And you're seeing the course here as we have it. It's been specially designed to accommodate a larger, more skilled field here at the Wide Open. Our tournament director, Jack Lowe, has done an outstanding job at assembling the Kansas City Flying Disc Club and utilizing all of its skills. Our art director, Dick Parker, providing many different views through the Kansas City KCFDC.org website. Those of you at home have not come to Kansas City, we invite you to put it on your list for disc golf or for otherwise. The home of jazz and some of the greatest barbecue we had earlier today from the crew, thanks to Dan Cashin. But it's a great place to be, and as we said, a lot more than disc golf going on here. I'm joined by Terry Miller, my co-host. I'm Crazy John Brooks, and we're joining you live through the miracles of the interweb. This is the 29th annual Wide Open Disc Golf Championships. We're in the middle of our second round of play, we're in our third and final day of play, and coming up shortly, our champions will be crowned in a very exciting ceremonies. Wonderful vistas here at Swope as we glance up to the number 1 tee with Paul Ulibarri, set to begin his quest. That is definitely an example of how the sidearm can give you bonuses. We've got the right to left breeze, as our viewers will notice. A right to left, it's left to right for players. Sidearm takes all that out of play.
Oh my gosh, Crazy, I do not believe what we just saw. Garrett Gurthie right off the tee. I'm not sure if it was a lapse in concentration or if it was a just an early release or what it might have been, but he absolutely drilled the tree directly off of the tee. It carried over 2 or 3 fairways away, which is going to definitely be out of bounds.
It's over an 18.
That is not the way that Garrett wanted to start the round.
That's Garrett in the red shirt coming down the hill in front. Ken Climo, Ulibarri also joining.
Eric McCabe, our 2010 world champion. And Garrett will step to where he was last in bounds. In bounds and out of bounds are denoted by the flags here throughout this championship gold, Swope Gold course, as he's going to confirm with his group exactly where he was when he went out of bounds. We've talked a lot about players traveling together and battling it out. Paul and Garrett have traveled quite extensively together this year, and here they are battling it out on this card.
This is real similar to the Napier approach we saw.
Hopefully Garrett can shake this off.
It's low and left. That's not what he's after. And he's got that left for a 4, Terry. That's not looking so good. Garrett, of course, recently achieving the half of the ownership of a world record set with he and Dave Nesbitt at the International Disc Golf Center achieved, they actually broke Tim Selinsky's Guts catch record, Double G throwing at 74 miles per hour. Catching Dave Nesbitt. And you could hear that disc hit his hand from a mile away, I'm sure.
It is probably still stinging at the moment, actually, as we watch Ken Climo.
He's getting a read on where his intersection into the Nature Collection area. There's a real quick poke at an in or under up shot. Ken has a lot of history here. We shared some time in a couple wide open finals together. It's always great playing next to the champ.
You've got to wonder, have we seen a mistake by Garrett? Looks like a mistake by Ken Climo right here on one. Maybe fatigue has set in now that we're in our third day of competition. These guys are on the fourth course that they've played. They've been here through a long, hot week of practice and tens of thousands of feet of competition. You've got to wonder if these guys are amped up. They're not really in the hunt for the win right now. Maybe they're not quite on top of their game. We're going to see how this plays out through the rest of the round.
Now, personally, I think it's just a tough, tight course, the way Tom Engel designed it. Even though these fairways that you see appear to have had trees planted to create a fairway, that is not the case. It was designed with the utmost of concern for preserving all of the nature's landscape that we have and the dramatic topography that has become famous to disc golf here. Taking a glance at T2.
Well, that's just a nice way to put it. I was trying to give them excuses. You're crazy, but if you want to...
I was ready to come back on you with that. Oh, boy. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, those of you at home, we want to encourage you to become a lifetime member of the Disc Golf Planet TV family. Don't forget, lifetime membership, just $25. You take a glance at Double G for his fourth shot. Just low, makeable, though. That would have been a great save. And McCabe stepping in.
We believe this to be McCabe's drive, as we got to the tee just a bit late, but we believe this to be McCabe's drive. And many people will say if McCabe's within 40 or 50 feet, you can count it. Well, right here on hole one, we're going to test that theory.
Just a tad high for the current world champion. Hailing out of Emporia, Kansas. Got a big following here at Kansas City. We're very proud to see that win happen last year. Paul Ulibarri.
Paul will have an opportunity to take a circle 3, as we call it, meaning he has gone out of bounds, but can still capitalize if he makes this putt by putting this in.
And no worries for that save.
It may have been Paul's strategy, knowing that his forehand had the chance to go out of bounds, but at least he would be pin high if so, and not too much harm.
For bogey. And a rare sight for the champ, adding any kind of a score with a 90-degree angle in it. Eric McCabe, as we mentioned, our current PDGA World Champion in the Men's Open Division. We got another assembly here. Greg Barsby. Terry, introduce our group here.
Well, as you see them shaking hands and wishing each other luck, we'll have Will Schusterick, Greg Barsby, Paul McBeth, and Steve Brinster. These four competitors all within 3 strokes.
I'm sorry, I just want to give a little shirt color for those folks that might not be familiar with the names but the appearances. Here, Jack Lowe, TD.
Stepping up to the tee, our 2010 United States Disc Golf Champion, Will Schusterick.
What a story this kid's got cooking for himself. Very aware, very alert. A lot of our young players are going to use the Schusterick model. 390 feet, number 1. And he chose the highest part of the ceiling. Textbook.
That was an unbelievable shot, as you saw, just going underneath the limbs, and looks like he came within 15 feet of the basket here on hole 1. That's a perfect start. And well, like Matty O, his good buddy Greg Barsby always likes to be colorful and wear a crazy hat or two, and here we have Greg Barsby, who's going to be stepping up, throwing a forehand. And unfortunately, Greg has released it just a bit high, thrown it into the tree branches. Next on the tee is Paul Macbeth.
Now the distance throwers are just going to have to choke things down a little bit, as I mentioned. That ceiling, as far as Schuster went, that's all you've got. Paul Macbeth has got to keep this low with his power. Maybe a bit over-adjusted, but nonetheless, that's a factor, because anything you hit in the top ceiling here, Terry, in the center of the fairway, that's going to most likely end you. You'll end up in that natural collection area. Steve Brinster has played many a round here. And using all of that gap down the middle, he ends up safe.
He is, and speaking about harnessing that power or clubbing down, so to speak, I noticed as Paul Macbeth was throwing this 390-foot hole that he simply had a mid-range. So that tells some of our viewers at home that these players with so much power, when they want control, they may be clubbing down. Now, it's not too often that you can club down to a rock or some kind of a mid-range on a 390-foot hole, but when you're Paul Macbeth, you have that luxury. So we'll see how that plays out throughout the rest of the day.
It's a great point, Terry, because some players I feel, and I do honestly, I see them reaching for the thing that will go the farthest, the fastest. And that is another way to control your distance and to better design your landing area.
For everyone out there that is experiencing any technical difficulties, we want to apologize. Our feed, everything looks good on our end. We're doing everything we can. Simply do some refreshing if you need to. Maybe close and open your browser and log back in. We may end up resetting the satellite dish because of our feed. We want to bring you the best, most clear signal throughout the day, as we may be watching our leader card here.
Got Nathan Doss out of Santa Cruz.
Also tied with him, as I said, his very good friend Avery Jenkins, 3 strokes behind Nico LaCastro.
St. Louis, Missouri.
And David Felberg, who has fallen off the pace a little bit, 5 strokes behind. We've seen Dave make up that kind of margin before, but
in 2 holes.
It's going to be a challenge today out on this course.
We're watching the group of Macbeth. Will obviously shoot first with that mid-range. That was a distance control move. I honestly don't think it was an errant shot. It's very early for him to be taking risks such as this. When you got a low ceiling and an out of bounds, I guarantee you Paul's got that data coming through his head right now. Macbeth on the uphill second shot on 1. All right, I'll consider that safe.
One thing that I'd like to mention here, and we'll probably talk about it a handful of times throughout the broadcast, there were only 8 players that shot in the 50s at Blue Valley yesterday, and we are about to see 7 of those 8 players on the top 2 cards. So when you say the cream rises to the top, that is definitely the case here. Steve Brinster being one of these players that shot in the 50s, shooting a 58 yesterday as he goes for a straddle putt. And just a bit short and left. And with his forehand drive, Greg Barsby will be up next.
All these players need to get a good start on 1, 2, and 3 because number 4, the par 5, is awaiting them. Barsby.
Just a bit left on that putt from Greg Barsby, who's been having a great week and, as we said yesterday, really been enjoying his time out here. Shooting a 61 yesterday.
The Blue Valley par 64, for those of you at home who have not played the course. This, of course, in reflection of Avery Jenkins' course record, which is still standing, Blue Valley at 53. We look at our top group leaderboard about to tee off. Jenkins and Doss tied, and immediately following is LeCastro and Feldberg. We'll have them teeing off in just a moment. This is live coverage of the Kansas City Wide Open, the 29th year of this epic event here in the heart of America. I'm Crazy John Brooks, your host for this Disc Golf Planet.t live broadcast, and it's a pleasure to have with me co-host Terry Miller, the disc golf guy many of you have known through blogging fame. As Jack Lowe, tournament director, about to introduce our top men's group.
And followed up with Nico LeCastro at a -26 and Dave Feldberg at a -24 to par. Gentlemen, best of luck.
Nathan Doss. What a story. Don't forget, winning his juniors world title here in 1999.
I look forward to seeing you over at the trophy shelter. Best of luck.
You're playing Frisbee now.
I'll let them finish
Plenty
up.
going through Avery's mind, really developing the inner athlete in the last couple of years. It's quite a story. Mother and father here. Wouldn't miss it. As Terry mentioned, the camaraderie between these four players is immense, yet making for even a more competitive environment. LeCastro just ready for breakthrough at any moment. Ended up in a bit of a frustrated closing to his yesterday's round after the missed birdie uphill on 16. Avery Jenkins once again enjoying his return to Kansas City, somewhat of a Valhalla. Number one measures 390 feet from tee to pin. The valley in the middle at a low point separating player from hole. Our broadcast being brought to you by Dynamic Discs, Disc Golf Center Studios, WorldSports.com, Disc Nation, One Nation Under Par, and Keen Footwear. And Fade Gear, we appreciate them joining the family of supporting sponsors. Gentlemen on one, watching number two tee off. They're going to wait for the number two group to clear. That's certainly up to the players if they feel any type of distraction, or I'm sure this will help the gallery as well. Looking forward to having so many folks follow the players, Terry. It's a blast putting under pressure, having the pretty girls in the audience. I'm sure Avery's got plenty to keep himself under control with. Leah, you better tighten that leash. Terry Roddy, of course, our field operations director on camera one, doing a great job as always, an amazing asset to bringing you the best in disc golf, ladies and gentlemen. So the long moments of contemplation before you again. There is no turning back once you tee off. This is Championship Sunday, and you're watching it live on the Disc Golf Planet.
Crazy, what do you suppose is going through Avery Jenkins' mind as he's about to embark on this final round, tied with his best friend here at the KC Wide Open? What kind of thoughts? Is he calm? Is he cool? Is he collected? Or does he still have the jitters?
Well, once again, we have to mention that Doss has secured a world title, and that is endless and perpetual confidence on any course for any player. Jenkins, I'm sure, is going to eliminate mistakes. He knows that he does not need distance to command control of swope. You need accuracy. And Ed is flirting with the line.
Avery, as you saw, put out his left hand, asking as if that was out of bounds or not. It
appears to be safe.
He is going to be close, that's for sure, as we watch Nate Doss.
This has got to temper his decision a little bit. That's not going to interfere with his strategy, but I know that Natron knows how to move the dial one click either way. That's an early buzz turn, but safe. Close to it anyway. This is another element here, folks. Those of you at home are watching these out-of-bounds lines. We also cannot exactly see right up on them, but it is close. It makes for even more drama, as you just never know where you're ending up. It's a new element added by Chris Temko. Here's Nico LeCastro. Doors wide open, Terry.
It is, and if any of these competitors are going to come up and challenge Nate or Avery, they're going to need to really step up their game, as Nico is 3 strokes behind currently, and Feldberg is 5 strokes behind going into today's round.
Got a turn.
Oh, and Nico has thrown it straight into a tree. It looks as if he got a very favorable kick off a very bad throw.
That's a 1 out of 100 kick right there. Feldberg now realizing that the animals are escaping out of the barn, and he's got a chance to literally walk on to a 1 to 2 stroke recovery. He's going to wait for a little hammer banging to stop. Any kind of distraction can play into people's heads. Dave Feldberg, your current mixed pairs world champ. And surprisingly low release.
Yeah, I think he saw a few of the previous competitors throw a little bit high, clip the trees, including Nico, who threw it straight into the tree. So it could be that he just threw it a little low, or it could be that his nerves are there. He is not quite on top of his game this week. As we said, he's actually 5 strokes back. We watched this beautiful gallery following this leader card. As you've said, the vantage points here at Swope are amazing everywhere you go. So this gallery will be in for a real treat, and we've got to thank our gallery at home watching us all on discgolfplanet.tv. It's the next best thing to being here, wouldn't you say, Crazy?
It absolutely is. It's a true sign of success and passion here in Kansas City. Castro, as Terry said, taking a lucky kick and has been left right in the center of the fairway.
Nico throwing his putter to within 18 feet. At this point, he's got to be happy with just taking a 3 and somewhat relieved that he didn't go out of bounds on that tee shot.
I think it's nerves. I honestly do. Big gallery, beautiful course, weather looming, cameras, live broadcast. It's all part of growing your inner athlete and answering the call to duty. That's what discgolfplanet.tv does, folks. It broadcasts the best in disc golf. I want to thank you again for logging on. We joined Dave Feldberg on his second shot.
Oh, and Dave coming up just a foot short of putting that in. That would have been a big bang to start off this round. He's going to have to settle for par, not making any moves here.
That's a great sign, too. If he's ready to gun on one, then I think we're in for a show, folks. Jenkins taking a long, smooth, steady walk up. Leah Taylor on the bag. And I'm sure that has its own comfort factor. Castro taking a glance. Obviously not happy with that approach either. That's far from where he could put it. Avery obviously taking relief, but we don't know if he's out of bounds, Terry.
Well, by the look that Nico had, just by his body English and whatnot, when he went over to look at Avery's lie, it was unclear as to if maybe Avery was just very close to the line.
The magnifying glass.
Yeah, they definitely were inspecting it to be sure of it. We'll find out shortly if Avery caught a break on that. Either way, he's looking to put this putt in as he's about pin high.
He's a good 70 out. Just underneath and safe.
Seems as if all of our competitors that are throwing putts up today have just come up barely short.
Yeah, he's not looking like he birdied. He's not looking like he parred. I mean, Terry, excuse me. Nathan Doss. You see this very temperamental wind we have here in the hills of Swope Park. This is the Swope Gold course, measuring some 1,600 feet longer than the normal Swope layout. Watching our top men's group here, Nico Castro, after his second approach shot, he'll have this roughly 18-footer for par. And a no-brainer for LeCastro, coming out of St. Louis, Missouri, somewhat close to here, just a mere 4 hours away, due east from Kansas City. You're watching third day coverage of the Wide Open. Nathan Doss for the tap-in. Sponsored by Discraft. Doss, once again, taking his first world title away from here in Kansas City, 1999.
I think you may have confused some people watching our broadcast yesterday when you kept speaking of Doss's 3 world titles.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what you were talking about, but certainly referencing, as you said, his junior world title right here in 1999.
Came here at 15 years old. Had players,